Okay, so today I'm going to work on showing you guys how to make a form in Adobe Forms. So the website's formcentral.acrobat.adobe.com. You can also just Google Form Central for Adobe. Um, so once you get there, go ahead and log in. You can start a new create a new account here, or you can log in. Obviously, I already have an account, but I'm going to start one under a different email because you can only have one form per email unless you pay for it. So as long as you can have it in those emails, so you can always just open another account for another form. Just put in the information. It's pretty quick, pretty self-explanatory, and then go ahead and open up a new account and you can start a new form. For this purpose, I'm making my forms to collect data in a classroom for my students, and it's being utilized by my assistants, so I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, something web-based. They can use an iPad or iPod Touch, something like that. Alright, so once you're in, it's going to have you accept a bunch of things. You can read through it, accept it, basic privacy policy, and things of that nature. Then it's going to go ahead and send you an email with a code in it. Go to your email and go ahead and open the email, and it will bring you back to the Form Central and allow you to start a new project. Let me switch emails real quick. Alright, there's my email. I'll open it up and confirm my email, and it will bring me back to my Form Central webpage. Alright, so once I'm there, I can go ahead and start a new project. There's a bunch of different templates you can go ahead and use. I just used one that I liked the picture at the top, so I didn't have to put any picture in, and I think it was the teacher evaluation form, and I'll use something similar for this demonstration as well. And what I do is just find the one you like. Here it is. Go ahead and use this template. Once you click that, it will start generating your form. Alright, so once your form is generated, basically all of your fields are movable and deletable and adjustable, so there's no worries as far as it says as the form. And you can see this is what I started out with the gray one, and this is what I have now. So it's nothing that you can change pretty much everything on this form. So you can put new pictures in, you can change the text. What I did was went ahead and changed the field colors. You can change pretty much anything like you would a PowerPoint or a document as well. The only reason I chose the Adobe Forms over the Google Forms is because you can have side-by-side forms here, and I definitely needed side-by-sides to make it more functional in my classroom. And you can see the add fields next to or above buttons, and you can also, if you have a drop-down menu, you can select your drop-downs. You can see that mine are stacked on top of each other for purposes of my TAs being able to quickly access and answer the questions as they're going through without having to stop what they're doing if they're reading a book or whatever they may be doing. This one is for a book that I have, a book series, and each book has 5 words they need to learn, so I can use this for each book. And you can change the formats of all the fields. What I do here is I get my fields set up how I need it, and then I copy and paste them over and over again because I'm doing it for 5 different words, and I need to know if they could recognize the word, if they needed any prompts to help them recognize the word. So what I do is I just select them all. You can select one, hold shift, and then go and select the last one you want to select. So I got the whole row of 5, and then I just copy and paste it 9 different times, I think. Yeah, for my 9 students. And you can see they all have the same initials in there right now, but I'll go ahead and go back and change those initials so that each student has their own row of whether they got the words correctly or whether they needed assistance with selecting the appropriate word. And within the prompt section, as you can see, that little tab there, the drop down menu, you can go in and you can type in whatever you think you need to know, whatever data you're collecting, and give them options, or you can leave a field for them just to type it in. I mean, you can do something as simple as just having a big block for them to type in and type answers or type in any notes that you need, like I did at the bottom, and so hit enter and it'll send it to you digitally, so there's no worry about having papers get lost or having to worry about what issue it comes up next. There's so many of them in the classroom. And as you can see here, we'll just go through and I'll do a couple more of these real quick, and then I'll show you guys the different ways that the information is presented to you within the Form Central website. The only negative side about this that I've came across, really, you can only have one form open. Luckily, I've left mine very general, so that it can be used very simple by anyone that's doing my English program. And you can only get 50 responses. Mine's basically one response per day, so it'll last me a good 7-8 months. But you can also export the data to an Excel document and then go back and delete it. So you can have, once you get to 50, you can export it as an Excel or a PDF and then go back and delete all the responses and keep your form open. So there's no issue with that. This here is showing you the different types of questions or response areas that you can put in. You can do drop-down menus, you can do single selection, multiple selections. You can do free typing areas, single row free typing, multiple row free typing. You can do insert text, which is at the top where I have Mr. Grable's area. You can do grids here. This is like the evaluation, where if they wanted to know how well they did poorly, or they got 5 out of 6 or whatever it may be. You can do a grid selection as well, but you can only do one selection per row on that grid. That's why I had mine set up how I do. So you can also, this is showing you how I did the drop-down menu. I did my prompts, and then I just went through and typed in the different selections that I wanted the students to, or the TAs to be allowed to select. It's kind of constrictive, but at the same time it gives them a quick drop-down menu. If they're using an iPad, they can just touch it, it pops down, there's 3 selections, 4 selections, they just click it and go. It's a lot easier than having a free thing where they have to remember VP for verbal prompt or PP for physical prompt or whatever they need to remember. Here I'll go through and show you the different stuff. A lot of these selections you have to have a paid option for, but I haven't needed them at this point. If I was doing something more in depth, I think I would probably need them, but at this point I don't. You can view your test form. I'll go ahead and type in some of this information. If I were doing it, type in my name, select a date field, and type in my book title and just whatever book you're reading at the time that go along with my form. I'll go ahead and throw in a couple selections here. I'll say that they got all the words, and then select the prompts that they would have used to get the words if they needed them, that particular student. And the ME and the MW and all those little 2-letter ones, some of them actually are words like me, but they're actually my student initials, so that I can keep track of who is who. And I need to go through and select as much as possible on this field so that you guys can see what the information looks like in the data field once it is submitted. And from the test form, it will submit it to you. It'll take up a row, but I need you guys to see how it looks once you get it. And I do have a total of 9 students. I think I cut this a little shorter, but you can add as much information or as little information as you need on each form. But like I said, keep in mind that you can only have one form open at a time, so you might have multiple accounts to be able to take data if you're doing it for English, math, science, whatever it may be. Almost done here. Now once you select all these, then I have the free typing area, and I'll just make up some information that they might have needed to tell you. Like if a student is typically 100% on their words but miss a few, then you can write that, AS might have had a distraction for the day for some reason, causing him to need prompts for words 1, 2, and 4, whatever it may be. And that top one that I have is just for notes of what happened, and then the box below it is kind of why it happened. So that way, when I'm reading it in my grid, I can look at, all right, what happened? AS had some issues with some of his words. Okay, why did that happen? And drop down, go over to the next box and be able to see, okay, we had some visitors come in and distracted him possibly during his lesson, causing him to miss those words at that time. So let me finish typing that up real quick, and then we'll go over and view the data and how it is viewed within the... Okay, so as I'm typing that in, once you submit it at the bottom here, it'll pop up a little window that says they submitted it. You can also hit the back button and go back if you wanted to resubmit it, just clear the fields, or you can just re-hit the link. I'm planning on having my link on as a shortcut on my iPads or my computers to be able to see that information. Alright, so once you have it entered, you go in and you can see on my row 1 it has all the information that was sent in. Now the only thing to keep in mind is it is a little bit lengthy or wide, I guess, because each one of those selections was a column in the spreadsheet. You'll have to kind of play with it to learn how to read it. If there's missing the initials, they have, you have AS on word 1, 2, and then 4 and 5. Obviously they missed word 3. And then it'll show you the prompts right after that in succession. I guess you could number the prompts as well, prompt 1, 2, 3, 4, so you knew which word was prompted. It might give you some more detailed information as far as what is where. And then as well you can have visual representation, and this is handy if you have a certain prompt that someone always needs a visual prompt on a certain word or a verbal prompt. It'll show you the 100% or whatever percentage, and these percentages are for every response. So to kind of give you a class overview of what type of prompts are working and being used, or what types aren't really being used, what's being used, what words are being missed the most, what words might need to go back and review. So that's a good, just quick view of it. Like I said, you can only get one response or 50 responses per, so you might want to go back, and I'm going to go ahead and clear this row out here in just a second, so I don't take up one of my responses. Now you can also go in and open your form, and this will allow someone else to view it, and it gives you the link here at the top. You can copy it and you can send it in an email. I plan on making mine a shortcut on the devices that I'm using, so they can just click it and it'll pop up as long as they're connected to the internet. But do keep in mind, once it is open, if you make any changes to the form, it'll automatically close it, and you need to go back in and open it again. So this is my form, and could be used in several different ways to help collect data in the classroom.